everyone and welcome to today's episode of Editing with the Gizmo panel. Today we're going to be talking about the luminosity masking and how the Gizmo panel light can help you to create beautiful and natural looking results with your images. Today we'll be working with one of my images, and I include the download link to the image in the description below in case you want to work along with me. Also, you can find in the description below the link to download Gizmo Panel Light plugin. So let's get started. Let's take a look at the luminosity mask, which is this section right in here. The left side of the panel will be your darks, and the right side will be your lights. Also, this section over here will be highlights, midtones, shadows, and colors. And this section right here is the output section. This is where we output our mask to. Okay, to help us to understand luminosity masking a little bit better, I created this gradient. On the left, we have the darkest tones transitioning to the lightest tones to the right, and in the middle, we have the midtones. Let me go to the luminosity masking section, and when I click on one of the darks, you will notice a selection on the dark area of the gradient. Now, when I click on two of the darks, you will see that the selected area is getting narrow. We go to 3 and we're going to narrow down dark tones even more. We go to 4 and selection narrows down even more. Now let's go to the light tones. Let's start with 1. The light tones are getting selected. Then I click on the 2 of the lights. Then you'll see that the selected area is getting narrow. We go to 3 and we're going to narrow down light tones even more. We go to 4 and the selection narrows down even more. So we can target certain areas using those buttons. Now let's click on Highlights button. As you can see, only highlights has been selected, and to select midtones, let's click on the midtones button. To select shadows, we will click on the Shadows button. Hopefully, that gives you a little bit of understanding about the luminosity masking. Now, let me give you some information about the layer mask. Layer mask is the way you can hide parts of an image without erasing it. It is a great way to affect only certain areas of an image rather than the entire image. There are two types of layer masks in Photoshop. A black mask will hide or conceal certain areas, while a white one shows them off. You can use various tones on the layer mask depending what you want to do with your image, like lighter gray tones reveal more and darker tones will hide more. As we can see the power of the luminosity masking and how it can help us to create a tonal balance, let's move forward and start working on the actual image. Alright, let's take a look at the image, and I like to focus on the lighter tones. Enhancing this area will not only help us to improve the image overall, but add more depth and contrast that will really make it pop. First, let's come to the luminosity mask section of the Gizmo panel light, and let's click on the lights 4 of the mask. Right away we can see the selection of the lightest part of our image. Next, I will go to the output section and I will use the levels adjustment layer. You can notice that we have a new levels adjustment layer over here, and we have that luminosity mask attached to it. If I hold down Option key on Mac or Alt key on Windows and click on the mask, I will see there is a luminosity mask. Now remember that everything that is light will get adjusted and everything that is dark will not be affected. To exit viewing layer mask, hold down the Option key on Mac or Alt key on Windows and click on the layer mask. Now I will click on the levels adjustment layer and I will move the levels slider to the right. And now look how I'm adding contrast and colors to the selected area of an image. And this is before and after. In the next step, I would like to bring more tone, contrast and colors to this area of the skies. To do that, I will go to the Luminosity Mask section of the Gizmo panel light and click on Color. Let's select the color tone and make a selection. Next, I will go to the Output section and I will use the Levels adjustment layer. And again, you can notice that we have a new Levels adjustment layer and the luminosity mask that is attached to it. To view our selection, let's hold the Option key on Mac or Alt key on Windows and click on the Layer Mask. And again, everything that is light will get adjusted and everything that is dark will not be affected. Let's exit from the view and click on the Levels adjustment layer. I will adjust the tonal range of the selected area by moving the shadows to the right. By doing that, I will be able to darken and add depth to the selected area, and by pushing the highlights to the left, I will make them brighter and more dimensionful. And this is before and after. Okay, I'm ready to take on the next step and bring a bit of brightness and contrast to the lighthouse. To do that, I will go to the Luminosity Mask section of the Gizmo panel light and click on Colors. Let's select the color tone and make a selection. Next, I will go to the Output section and I will output my selection to the new Channel Mixer adjustment layer. Let me select the layer and look at the Properties panel. First thing that I like to do when working with the Channel Mixer adjustment layer is to make the image monochrome. Next, I will go to the Blend Mode pop-up menu and select Luminosity mode. The Luminosity blending mode only brightens or darkens the pixels in our selection and doesn't change saturation or hue levels. Okay, let me adjust the selection by sliding red and green channels to the left to about 20 and pushing the blue channel to the right to about 180. As you can see, this will affect the other areas of our image that we don't want to. And to fix that problem, I will go to the Luminosity section of the Gizmo panel light and click on Group. This will create a new group with the black layer mask and place the Channel Mixer layer inside the group to hide the changes. And like I mentioned before, black layer mask will hide or conceal the effect, and white layer mask will show or reveal certain areas of our image. Let's use white paintbrush and gently paint over the area of an image to reveal the effect of the Channel Mixer layer, just like that. And let me show you before and after. This is before and this is after. In this step, I would like to add contrast, tone and colors to this blue area of the skies. To do that, I will go to the Luminosity Mask section of the Gizmo panel light and click on Color. Let me select the color tone and make a selection. I will output my selection to the Levels adjustment layer. Let me adjust the tonal range of the selected area by moving the shadows to the right and by pushing the highlights to the left and also sliding midtones to the right. And like before, I wanted to target only a specific area of our image, and to fix that problem, I will go to the Luminosity section of the Gizmo panel light and click on Group. This will create a new group with the black layer mask and place the Levels adjustment layer inside the group to hide the changes. Let's use the white paintbrush and gently paint over the areas of an image to reveal the effect of the Levels adjustment layer. Just like that. And now let me show you, this is before and this is after, this is before and after. Okay, let me close the group and I would like to continue by targeting the shadows area of our image. To do that, I will go to the Luminosity Mask section of the Gizmo panel light and click on Shadows. Next, I'll output my selection to the Levels adjustment layer. Let me adjust the tonal range of the selected area by pushing the highlights to the left and then adjusting midtones by sliding them to the left, like that. Next, I'll go to the Luminosity section of the Gizmo panel light and click on Group. This will create a new group with the black layer mask and place the Levels adjustment layer inside the group. And now I will paint over the layer mask to reveal the effect. Okay, let me close my group, and I would like to continue by working on this area of the image, and I will click on dark 3 to see the selection. Okay, maybe darks 2. Yeah, okay, I like the darks 2 better. And now I will output my selection to the curves adjustment layer. And I will use curves adjustment layer by clicking on the curves line and adding set point somewhere in the top area. This set point can be moved up or down to adjust the brightness or corresponding midtones on our photo. And I will move my set point up to brighten up the selected area. Next, I will add another set point in the lower area of the curve, and I will move my set point down like this just a little bit. Next, I would like to work on this area of the lighthouse and add vibrance and saturation to the reds. And to do that, I will go to the Luminosity Mask section of the Gizmo panel light and click on Colors. I will target the red color tone and make a selection. Next, I will output my selection to the Vibrance adjustment layer. And in the properties of the Vibrance adjustment layer, I will use the Vibrance slider and I will move it to the right to about 45. Next, I will use the Saturation slider and move it to the right to about 50. Next, I will go to the Luminosity section of the Gizmo panel light and click on Group. This will create a new group with the black layer mask and place the Vibrance adjustment layer inside the group. And now I will paint over the layer mask with the white brush to reveal the effect. After tonal balancing our image using luminosity masking, I can take the next step and go for some color correction. I will start the process by going to the Gizmo panel light and clicking on the color button. Then I will click on the tone button. Next I will click on the balance button. And finally on saturation button. You can notice that we have few new layers created. Now let's create a group and place these color correction layers inside the group. First, I need to click on the top layer that I want to include. Then, while holding down the Shift key on my keyboard, I will click on the last layer that needs to be included into the group. And to group the selected layers, I will add a group folder by clicking on the Create a New Group button inside the Layers menu. Now, this is before and this is after. And I believe the effect is a bit too strong and I would like to reduce its intensity. To do this, I will click on the color correction group and adjust the opacity by dragging the slider to the left. Taking the next step with our image, I will reach out for the Brush Preset tool in Gizmo panel light. After selecting the Architecture Lighten preset, a new layer will be created with the black layer mask attached to it. To paint over, the light area of the lighthouse, I will use a soft white paintbrush on a layer mask. With this subtle edit, our image will be brighter and more detailed in this area, making it look even better. Okay, this is before and this is after. Before and after effects. And I can honestly say that I'm very pleased with the end result. The only area that needs improvement is that shadow area over here. So let me use the Luminosity mask section of the Gizmo panel light and click on colors. And I will target the dark tones and make a selection. Now let me output my selection to the curves adjustment layer, and I will use the curves adjustment layer by clicking on the curve line and adding a set point somewhere on the top area. I will move my set point up to brighten up the selected area, and now I will add another set point in the lower area of the curve, and I just move my set point up again. And okay, here we go. This is before and this is after. Holding down the Option key on Mac or Alt key on Windows and then clicking on the background layer eyeball icon will hide all the other layers in our image, allowing us to see the image that we started with, and clicking again, this is the final result that we were able to achieve with the help of the luminosity masking and Gizmo panel light. I think you will agree with me that this technique is extremely useful and powerful. Thanks to everyone that watched this video, and if you haven't yet given Gizmo panel light a try, now it's a perfect time. If you liked today's video, please feel free to show your support by liking it and sharing with your friends, or even subscribing to our channel and hitting that bell notification icon so you never miss when we upload the new content. Please leave any thoughts or questions in the comment section below. We make sure to get back to you as soon as possible. On behalf of all of us at Gizmo Panel, thank you for joining and see you next time.